Right, the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Vikas Swarup is briefing the media on the Pakistan terror attack. Let's listen.
So much aid is actually the epicenter of terrorism, which has also targeted Americans and American interests. You would recall that the US Congress had also blocked $300 million aid to Pakistan under the Coalition Support Fund due to Pakistan's insufficient action against the dreaded Haqqani network. Earlier, the US Congress had also objected to the sale of F-16s to Pakistan. So the present bill has been introduced by two of the senior-most and highly respected members of the Congress, and I'm sure it will be treated with the utmost seriousness. Sridhar.
So is India going to take any action at the UN or the UN Security Council to get Pakistan designated as a terrorist state? And you would recall that about 25 years ago, the US had put Pakistan on the watch list of state sponsors of terrorism, and as soon as Bill Clinton became the president, that was removed. So are you going to do anything to persuade the US to put Pakistan back on that watch list? Thank you.
Well, as far as we are concerned, we have been continuously sensitizing the world about the terrorism emanating from Pakistan, how Pakistan continues to treat terrorism as a matter of state policy. And we also have to work through designated counterterrorism structures. As you know, the 1267 committee in the United Nations has certain modalities through which such things can be handled. And we continue to hope that the international community, which is already, I think, suffering from the effects of Pakistani-sponsored terrorism. After all, Pakistan's hand has been seen in a number of terror attacks all around the world, including the most recent one in New York. So we hope that increasingly the international community will continue to see the validity of ensuring that Pakistan is made to stop its state sponsorship of terrorism. Vinita.
Because yesterday we saw Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif raising Kashmir issue and talking more about Kashmir than his own country at the UNGA. Pakistan has been actually knocking all doors in the world and trying to make Kashmir a central point of discussion. How do you see Pakistan's effort to politicize Kashmir, and how does India actually plan to counter that?
Well, as you know, 2 days have passed since the high-level debate in the United General Assembly began. In each of these days, 25 countries have spoken. So which means if you count the 2 days, then 50 countries have already spoken. The UN Secretary General himself has spoken and has outlined what he believes to be the primary areas of concern. If you look at all the statements that have been made so far, no one, I repeat, no one, has referred to the issue that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif devoted 80% of his speech to. On the contrary, virtually every statement has referred to terrorism as the main threat to international peace and security, a fact that Pakistan still remains in denial of. 4 of the 5 members of the Security Council have also spoken, and their statements are also available for all to see. In fact, the only permanent member of the Security Council which has not spoken is Russia. And I think you're all aware of Russia's position on terrorism as well. As far as the so-called dossier is concerned, that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is believed to have given to the UN Secretary General, you have seen the readout given by the Secretary General's office. It makes no mention of the dossier. It does not talk about the Secretary General wanting to intervene in Jammu and Kashmir. In fact, the Secretary General has very wisely said that this issue needs to be settled bilaterally. In addition, as I have already pointed out, you have seen the flurry of bilateral statements issued by all the major world capitals condemning the Uri terror attack in the strongest possible terms. So I think this itself makes very clear how successful Pakistan's diplomatic strategy has been. Srinjoy.
So you've heard Maleha Lodhi speaking about the Pakistani and Indian nuclear program and equating them. You have also heard Nawaz Sharif speaking about Pakistan's membership, his proposal to be a member of the NSG. How do you react to it?
See, our position on this issue has been made very clear on a number of occasions. We believe that issues pertaining to nuclear disarmament do not have regional solutions. These are global issues, and our position on these issues, our engagement with global forums which are dealing with these issues, is a matter of record. Parikshit.
Sir, Pakistan is now increasingly finding itself isolated in the entire SAARC region. We've seen very strong statements from Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Would you now urge SAARC nations to actually consider whether they really want to participate in the SAARC summit in Islamabad or not, and have the developments since Sunday affected India's decision as well?
Look, I cannot comment on that, but SAARC stands for regional cooperation, which is underpinned by peace and stability. The biggest threat to peace and stability, we all know, is terrorism. Squarely addressing this challenge will benefit the entire region and also strengthen regional cooperation. I'm sure all member countries of SAARC need to reflect on this. You spoke about, coordination with Bangladesh and with Afghanistan. I cannot go into that, but certainly I think all victims of terrorism do stand in solidarity. Yeah, I think Manish Chand.
Vikas, apart from expressions of solidarity and condemnation and all that we're getting, what are the diplomatic levers we have to make it very costly for Pakistan to persist on this path? For example, scrapping of the Indus Water Treaty has been tossed around. That's number one. Number two, just wanted a confirmation, has Russia cancelled a joint exercise with Pakistan?
You're entitled to one question, so please decide which question you want to ask.
The first question, that what are the diplomatic levers we have apart from, as part of our isolate Pakistan strategy?
Well, whatever diplomatic levers or leverages or blueprint we have, I'm certainly not going to discuss that in a public forum. And certainly I'm not going to debate that in the media. Our actions speak for themselves, and you are already seeing our actions are delivering results. Mukesh?
Sir, our representative in UN called Pakistan a terrorist state. How prudent or wise it is to have diplomatic relations with a terrorist state?
Look, first of all, I don't know which statement you are referring to. I think we refer to Pakistan as a country which, practices terrorism as a matter of state policy. If that is what you're referring to, now you're saying that why should we have diplomatic relations with Pakistan? Well, as you know, yesterday only, we called in their High Commissioner. We confronted him with evidence of Pakistani involvement in the latest terror attack in Uri. We conveyed to him also Pakistani involvement in earlier terror attacks, the Poonch terror attack, the capture of Bahadur Ali, etc. And we told him that if you would like to conduct an investigation, we are ready to assist you in that. Now, such demarches can only be made if you have diplomatic relations. So I think you will agree that having diplomatic relations do serve a useful purpose. Charu, at the back.
In the statement after the Foreign Secretary summoned the Pakistan High Commissioner yesterday, you mentioned right at the end that we now expect a response from Pakistan. Could you just help us understand what kind of response we're looking at, that we would expect and want, A, and B, what is the time frame we're looking at within which we would expect a response? Well,
considering 8 years have passed since the Mumbai attack trial, has been dragging on, I don't think we have kept a time frame. Obviously, it's in the interest of Pakistan to act as swiftly as it can on the perpetrators of terror, which it has harbored and which have been conducting terror attacks in India. So, Foreign Secretary has basically conveyed to to the Pakistan High Commissioner here the irrefutable proof that we have of Pakistani involvement. We have also conveyed our willingness to share fingerprint and DNA evidence should Pakistan be serious about investigating it. And now the onus is, as I said, is on Pakistan. The démarche has happened only yesterday. So let us see when we receive a response from Pakistan. Ashish.
सर, पहले जो सवाल पूछा गया, हमारा जो राइट टू रिप्लाई है उसमें वी हैव यूज्ड द टर्म टेरर स्टेट ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको इम्प्लाई किया जा रहा है, वो ये टर्म हमने यूज़ किया है। तो क्या सर ऐसे में प्रधानमंत्री अभी भी सार्क सम्मेलन में हिस्सा लेने उस टेरर स्टेट में जाएंगे या नहीं जाएंगे? इस बारे में कोई फैसला हुआ है या नहीं? क्यों
नहीं, इसका देखिए आशीष, मैं जवाब अभी दे ही चुका हूं, तो आप दोबारा आपने अपना जो प्रश्न है वो व्यर्थ कर दिया है। मनीष।
सर, सार्क के मेंबर कंट्रीज का एक एंटी टेररिज्म मीटिंग हो रही थी, तो हम लोग जानना चाह रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान से किस लेवल पर अपीयरेंस हुआ था, ताकि हम जानें कि पाकिस्तान कितना सीरियस है एंटी टेररिज्म एक्शन को लेकर।
देखिए, आतंकवाद का मुकाबला करने और नशीले पदार्थों के कारोबार, जाली करेंसी जैसे मुद्दों पर सहयोग करने पर सारा विश्व समुदाय और सार्क देश प्रमुखता से फोकस कर रहे हैं। आज दिल्ली में हो रही बैठक इस दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम है और सार्क के कार्यक्रम का एक महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है। स्वाभाविक रूप से सार्क के सभी सदस्यों को उचित अधिकारी स्तर पर इसमें भाग लेना चाहिए। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, भारत की तरफ से तो हमारे डायरेक्टर जो इंटेलिजेंस ब्यूरो के हैं वो इसकी सभा की अध्यक्षता कर रहे हैं। यदि उचित दर्जे के अधिकारी द्वारा इस बैठक में भाग न लिया जाए, और पाकिस्तान ने, जैसा आप जानते हैं, पाकिस्तान से तो किसी को नहीं भेजा है, 2 अधिकारी उनके जो यहां दूतावास में हैं उनसे प्रतिनिधित्व करवाया है, तो यदि उचित दर्जे के अधिकारी द्वारा इस बैठक में भाग न लिया जाए तो आप स्वयं ही निष्कर्ष निकाल सकते हैं। और यदि मैं हिंदी का एक मुहावरा इस्तेमाल करूं तो चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका।
सर, पठानकोट हमले के बाद पाकिस्तान के जो हाथ थे या सबूत थे उसको दिखाने के लिए आप लोगों ने पाकिस्तान को ऑफर किया और पाकिस्तान की टीम पठानकोट बेस पर आई। उरी को लेकर भी कल सम्मेलन के दौरान इन चीज़ों को रखा गया कि किस तरह से पाकिस्तान का हाथ इस हमले के पीछे है। तो क्या पाकिस्तान अब भी आना चाहे तो उरी बेस पर उसे लाने
देखिए, ये पहली बात मैं आपको स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि ये उस तात्पर्य से उनको नहीं हम ये इन्फॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं कि वो एक टीम यहाँ भेजें, क्योंकि अभी हमारी एनआईए टीम के ऊपर ही उनका कोई उत्तर नहीं आ पाया है। वो अभी भी कह रहे हैं कि हम जो एविडेंस हमने यहाँ कलेक्ट किए हम उसको एनालाइज कर रहे हैं। हमने जो ये ऑफर उनको दिया है वो केवल इस प्रायोजन से दिया है कि पाकिस्तान का जो अपना नेशनल फिंगरप्रिंट डेटाबेस है उसमें वो जो उरी और पूंछ के आतंकवादी हैं उनके जो फिंगरप्रिंट्स हमें मिले हैं उसके साथ वो मैच कर सकें, ताकि वो ये तथ्य स्थापित कर सकें कि वो पाकिस्तानी नागरिक थे।
Is ministry open for any initiative to draft a bill that declares Pak a terror state?
देखिए, इसका भी मैं जवाब, I have already answered this question. Currently in India we do not have any provision for declaring a state sponsor of terrorism. So this would require an internal legislative process within India.
Sir, this Uri attack has again showed and clearly it has come out that the Jaish-e-Mohammed imprint is on this attack also. India has taken steps to designate Masood Azhar, the leader of Jaish-e-Mohammed, as an international terrorist, UN designated terrorist. Are we going to renew our effort and take this issue up with China, who has blocked this effort?
We have said right from the beginning that Jaish-e-Mohammed is a very well-known terrorist organization which has a global reach, and its leader continues to roam freely in the country known for harboring wanted terrorists. The 1267 issue regarding the proscription of Masood Azhar, as well as the latest attack in Uri, have both been the subject of discussion with China. Ranjit.
Is India also preparing some kind of dossier on various acts of terrorism committed by Pakistan? And when Sushma Swaraj will be visiting New York, she will be presenting it to various world leaders?
We don't need to produce a dossier. The whole world is already aware of what Pakistan's role has been in sponsoring terrorism. Sushma Swaraj ji will of course be going to New York. She will be addressing the United Nations General Assembly on the 26th of September. And I think you'll have to wait and watch what she has to say on this subject. Rakesh ji.
विकास जी, 99 प्रधानमंत्री अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी कारगिल यात्रा और नवाज शरीफ प्रधानमंत्री, उसके बाद जो स्थितियां बनी, कारगिल युद्ध कहा गया उसे। 2016 प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी बट क्या कहते हैं उनके नवाज शरीफ के माताजी से मिले, गिफ्ट किया, उसके बाद ये उरी का जो तोहफा है, इसको किस तरह से हम परिभाषित करेंगे आप?
नहीं, मैं तो यही कहूंगा कि देखिए, जहां तक भारत का प्रश्न है, हमने निरंतर पाकिस्तान के प्रति अपने दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाया है, लेकिन जहां तक पाकिस्तान का प्रश्न है, उन्होंने निरंतर क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म का सहयोग लिया है। तो इस पे और क्या टिप्पणी हो सकती है? नहीं निमा।
So what happened to that request that India had made to Pakistan on exporting wheat to Afghanistan, and also is there a rethinking on the MFN tag that India had given?
As far as the first part of your question is concerned, I think there are two aspects to it. One, that Afghanistan itself is now a member of the World Trade Organization, and as such has rights, including transit rights. That means other countries have corresponding obligations to allow needed transit to Afghanistan. We all know that the concerned country, also a WTO member, does not have much respect for global rules, whether it is trade in ordinary products or nuclear equipment and material. The bottom line is that Afghanistan's right to access is being seriously infringed. The other aspect is that the proposed supply of wheat is a humanitarian matter. The 170,000 tons of wheat has no commercial value and is not a commodity or goods in the normal commercial sense. So far, we have had no formal response from the government of Pakistan and can only hope that their approach will be consistent with the humanitarian nature of the matter, as well as the rights and obligations of Afghanistan and Pakistan under global regimes. As far as your second question regarding MFM status, I just saw on the ticker some comments by MOS Commerce in this regard. I think you would be well advised to direct your query to it.
All right, that's the second big hard-hitting official reply from the Indian government to Pakistan. Both the Uri terror attack as well as Nawaz Sharif's epic failure at the UN General Assembly and his embarrassing speech in which he managed to name Kashmir 23 times and terror 4 times. The world is laughing at Pakistan. It's totally jittery about rumors that India may wage war with it. They are on lockdown in Pakistan. And here in India, in Mumbai, it's a city on high alert. And we're going to get you a live ground report next because there could be 4 suspected terrorists on the loose. We're going to get you a live ground report after this very short break. Stay with India.